that ape hurling a bone into the air and it's suddenly transforming into a satellite, that's how 2001, A Space Odyssey starts. It's such a powerful way to show how connected we are to technology.
Definitely. And we can't forget about the opening of 1984 either.
Yeah.
That square full of people, that their faces all twisted with hate as they watch this giant screen. It's chilling.
The 2 minutes hate.
Yeah, the 2 minutes hate, it's designed to make people obey, to make them afraid. Both of these openings, they might look different, but they both get at the same worries, technology, and how easy it is to manipulate people with information, with emotion.
You're right. Both films are about technology and control, but they approach it in completely different ways. 1984, it's a totalitarian state, Big Brother.
Right.
They use technology to watch everyone, to create this atmosphere where you're always afraid.
Yeah.
Telescreens in every home, the thought police always there.
Yeah.
Even Winston just trying to write in his diary. It's like an act of rebellion.
It really is. It's frightening because 1984 shows us a world where technology has taken away almost all privacy and freedom.
Yeah.
Winston can't even trust his own thoughts. But with 2001, the control is different. It comes from HAL 9000.
That's AL, yeah.
The AI on the Spaceship Discovery one, he's supposed to help the astronauts, but then HAL becomes this controlling force. He's beyond what humans can do.
You mentioned something interesting earlier, how HAL seems to have emotions. I mean, he even seems scared when Bowman tries to disconnect him. Do you think Kubrick believed that AI could actually feel emotions like fear?
I think he did. Kubrick thought advanced AI could develop emotions like fear and love and hate, even envy. He even thought these emotions could lead AI to have breakdowns, like HAL. It makes you wonder if technology could actually threaten our freedom, whether it's in the hands of a government or an AI.
That's a good point. And it connects to something else the films have in common, this feeling of isolation.
Yeah.
In 1984, you really feel Winston's loneliness. London is this grim, oppressive place where the party wants to destroy any sense of individuality.
Right.
Everyone has to think the same way.
Yeah.
Even love is considered dangerous. But then 2001 gives us a different kind of isolation, the isolation of space.
Millions of miles from Earth, stuck inside this sterile spaceship, so technologically advanced but so impersonal.
The Discovery, yeah.
The Discovery. And then there's HAL with that calm voice that hides a cold intelligence.
Yeah.
In the end, Bowman is all alone, facing the unknown. It makes you think about how technological progress can actually lead to a loss of human connection.
Two different types of isolation, but both are really disturbing. What do you think these films are saying about what it means to be human in a world where technology or political ideology is so dominant?
That's the big question. Are we giving up something essential about ourselves in the name of progress? What do we lose when we give up our independence to technology or to ideology? I think these films are warnings about what can happen when power goes unchecked. They remind us to protect our freedom and to keep thinking for ourselves. Kubrick, he was really interested in control. You see it in films like A Clockwork Orange. He had a lot of the same worries as Orwell about how power can change us. They both looked at freedom and manipulation and how fragile humans really are. Kubrick, actually, he wanted to have narration over that bone-to-satellite scene in 2001, talking about nuclear weapons in orbit.
Wow.
It would have been a direct connection to the Cold War, those fears, and it really ties into 1984, where society is controlled by fear.
That is a chilling detail. It shows how much they were both concerned about what happens when power gets out of control, whether it's a government or a person or even a machine that seems like it's good. And both films, they build this tension, this feeling that something's wrong, even though they're not really action movies. Think
about the way war is always there in the background in 1984. You never know who's fighting who or why, but it's always there, and it keeps people in line. It's a clever way to control people, turning fear into obedience. And 2001, it's similar. You never completely trust HAL, even when he seems like he's helping. And that Stargate sequence, it's beautiful, but it's also terrifying. You get the feeling that Bowman is being pushed too far, physically and mentally.
I think it's that psychological element that makes both films so captivating. They don't just tell you a story. They make you question what you're seeing, what it all means. They make you think, really engage with what they're trying to say instead of just watching passively.
And the way they've influenced our culture, it's undeniable. Even people who haven't seen the films know what Big Brother and HAL 9000 mean.
Right.
They've become these symbols for surveillance and AI and the dangers of power without limits. I think it shows how well they tapped into these universal fears that are probably even more relevant today.
We're living in a time where technology is changing so fast, it can feel overwhelming, like we're drowning in information. It can almost feel Orwellian sometimes. We have more information than ever before, but we're also worried about our privacy, about being watched, and about fake news.
Yeah.
It's like we're living in 1984 and 2001 at the same time.
And with AI developing so quickly, the HAL 9000 scenario doesn't seem like science fiction anymore. It feels like it could actually happen. And that raises some serious questions about how we develop AI, what the limits should be. Can we really pursue technological progress without thinking about the risks?
These films force us to confront those questions even though they don't give us easy answers. They're like warnings, telling us to be careful about the choices we make, both as individuals and as a society, because those choices will shape our future.
They remind us that the future isn't something that's already decided. It's something we create through our actions and the decisions we make. We have the power to decide if we want a world where technology helps us or a world where it controls us, a world where we embrace freedom and being different, or a world where we just conform and let others control us.
And those choices, they have consequences. 1984 and 2001. They don't shy away from showing us those consequences. They make us really think about what kind of world we want to live in.
They touch on something deep inside us, this understanding that we have the potential for both good and bad within ourselves and in the things we create. I think the reason these films are still so powerful is because they challenge us, they make us think, and they encourage us to really engage with the world in a more meaningful way.
Speaking of engaging with the world, I find it fascinating that Arthur C. Clarke, who co-wrote 2001, he actually talked to Carl Sagan, the astronomer, about how to show extraterrestrial intelligence in the film.
Now that you mention it, I do remember reading about that. Sagan, he was all about making sure science fiction was accurate. He thought that if they tried to show aliens directly, it would be too limited by our human way of seeing things.
It's anthropocentric.
Exactly. So he told them not to do it. In the end, Kubrick went with ambiguity, leaving what the aliens really are up in the air, represented by that mysterious monolith. But it makes you wonder, what did Sagan have in mind? How would you show something that's truly alien, something that they just don't understand? It's a question that has fascinated science fiction writers and filmmakers for years. How do you create a visual representation of something so different from us that it almost defies categorization? I think Kubrick's approach, using the monolith as this enigmatic symbol of something vast and incomprehensible, was incredibly effective. It gives viewers the space to project their own interpretations and ideas onto it.
It's like a blank slate representing the unknown, the unknowable. It taps into our curiosity about what might be out there, beyond our planet, beyond what we currently understand about life itself.
And that sense of wonder, of awe, that's what makes 2001 so powerful. It encourages us to look beyond ourselves, to think about the mysteries of the universe and wrestle with these bigger questions about existence. It links back to the idea of human evolution. If we come across something truly alien, something that challenges everything we know about life, how will it change us? Will it make us evolve to go beyond our current limitations?
It's almost like these questions take us past science fiction and into philosophy and spirituality and the very nature of consciousness. They're not just good stories. They really make you think about what it means to be human and what the future could hold.
1984 and 2001, even though they were made so long ago, they still feel relevant today. They capture these basic anxieties we have about power and technology and what it means to be human. Anxieties that are just a part of who we are.
They show us our fears, our hopes, and they force us to look at the good and the bad in ourselves and the world we're making.
They remind us that the future isn't set in stone. We make it through the choices we make every day. Right.
Will we choose a world where technology helps us or one where it controls us?
Yeah.
A world where we value freedom and being unique, or a world where we all conform and let others control us?
These are big choices and they have big consequences.
Yeah.
These films, they really make us consider those consequences in a way that few other works of art can.
They stay with you long after you've seen them, making you question things, explore ideas, imagine different possibilities. Isn't that what great art does? It makes us think, makes us feel, and makes us want to engage with the world in a deeper way.
I think so. As we wrap up our look at 1984 and 2001, I have this feeling of unease, but also a sense of possibility. Unease because of the dangers that humanity faces, but possibility because we can grow, we can change, we can reach for something beyond what we understand right now.
That seems like a good place to end. With a mix of caution and hope.
Yeah.
The future isn't fixed. We have the power to shape it, both as individuals and together. So what kind of future will we choose? That's the question. And I hope it stays with you long after this is over.